NASCAR reveals these drivers will be on the hot seat this season. It's common in sports to ask teammates, "What have you done for me lately?" In the event that your results decline, any prior success you may have had may be forgotten. A former hero could easily turn into the victim of the day. The pressure on drivers in NASCAR to match continually shifting expectations, which might or might not be reasonable, is no different. The assurance of a job is not always provided by victory. Now that the 2023 NASCAR season is just a few days away, let's evaluate which drivers are under the greatest pressure to succeed throughout the ensuing 38 races. Hello NASCAR fam, and welcome back to NASCAR Live. But before we begin, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. And now, let's begin. There will be numerous changes between 2022 and 2023 during the NASCAR season. Therefore, we'd like to share with you everything you should know about NASCAR in 2023. Let's start by examining the top 5 drivers this season who are under the most pressure. Bubba Wallace. Wallace has made significant progress toward being the driver that 23XI envisioned when it signed him after a disappointing first half of the season reached its low point at Nashville with a mid-race radio meltdown that sparked some intense conversations inside the company's walls. He racked up 4 straight top 10 finishes over the course of the summer, including good performances on road courses, a sort of track where he frequently has trouble. The upward trend persisted into the fall when he achieved a stunning victory at Kansas. Wallace has convincingly dispelled any lingering concerns about his capacity to win, not only on a super speedway, but on the majority of the other tracks on the schedule. Is this driver capable of winning? How come Wallace is on this list then? It's imperative that he maintain his momentum and earn his first ever playoff berth. It was impressive that he won at Kansas, but more Sundays like that are required. Wallace can realistically expect to win a number of races this season, as well as make the playoffs, given the amount of money Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin invested on developing 23XI. Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez was the center of the enterprise when Trackhouse Racing was established. Suarez's once promising career had now become one of a journeyman, but team owner Justin Marks still had faith in his capacity for greatness at the Cup level. Marks reasoned that all he required for his gift to flourish was the ideal circumstance. Suarez and the team made significant gains last season after a hit-and-miss debut season together in 2021. His first professional victory at Sonoma in June was a token of gratitude for Marks' trust in him. Ross Chastain, a teammate from Trackhouse, also rose to prominence at the same time as Suarez, but he did so at the expense of Suarez, who was eliminated from the playoffs in round 2 despite having already won 2 races by the time Suarez won his first. Chastain ultimately finished second in the championship. "We did a good job this year, but we know that there's a lot of room for improvement on the number 99 team," Suarez remarked in December. "I'm really excited for the challenge. I just feel that we are just getting started." I think Ross did an amazing job. One of the advantages that I feel like Ross had overall is Chastain's number 1 team was already built, so they were already rolling in the beginning of the year. And we had some pains in the process with the number 99 team, and we have learned a lot from them. So I'm really looking forward to having a very similar team for next year and being able to continue the growth that we have had. As Trackhouse enters its 3rd season, Suarez is no longer the organization's only priority. It's obvious that much. As demonstrated, Chastain is deserving of just as much attention as anyone else. Suarez needs to assert himself again. He cannot have another year when Chastain performs better than he does in every way. That is especially important in light of the fact that both drivers are about to become unrestricted free agents and that Chastain is now in the lead for a contract extension. Ryan Preece. When Preece joined Stewart-Haas Racing last January, there were no assurances. His major responsibility was to work in the simulator, behind the scenes, assisting SHR staff of engineers and getting more performance out of its Fords, even though he would be participating in a few limited races in the Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series. When it became clear that SHR will have a gap on its Cup driver roster in 2023 as a result of his determination and talent, Preece had Tony Stewart, the other co-owner of SHR, on his side, as well as Kevin Harvick. I think for me, I've kind of seen Ryan and seen how he operates, and he's just a hard-nosed racer and can put everything together himself and do everything himself, Harvick stated in May. To me, that's the kind of guy you want, right? You want somebody who knows it all, and he's just a fun kid to be around and works hard and can race. He just needs the right opportunity. Preece has earned the right to work for Cup again full-time at this point. He will take Cole Custer's place as the number 41 driver for SHR. Preece will compete in NASCAR's top division once again, but unlike when he previously did so with JTG Daugherty Racing from 2019 through 2021, he will do it with a top-tier organization for which winning races is a practical objective. Preece must make the most of this fantastic opportunity to rebuild his career. Few people are given another chance. If he doesn't, he may not only lose his ride at the conclusion of the season, but also has a low chance of ever being given a chance by a major league team. Usually, when you go out of the Cup Series full-time, you tend to be part-time, and then it seems like your career could be over, Preece stated in November. That is the shot in the arm or shot of adrenaline that I feel like my career needed. Kyle Busch. Busch will be the subject of more attention this year than any other driver. Such is life when you're a two-time Cup winner in the peak of your career who, after 15 years at Joe Gibbs Racing, makes the switch to Richard Childress Racing in one of the most significant free agent signings of the last 10 years. If he can improve the performance of an organization that has lacked high-level consistency for some time, and whether he can resume being a dominant force after 3 fairly lackluster seasons, depends on how Busch manages the change. This is a major unknown going into the season. A high-profile action like this should not be a problem for him because he is accustomed to criticism. Nevertheless, there will be more pressure, specifically because Tyler Reddick, the driver Busch is replacing, won 3 races in 2022. The question of whether Busch erred in leaving the Toyota family, whether by turning down a contract extension with JGR or by declining 23XI Racing's 1-year offer, will be raised if Busch and/or RCR underperform. I'm kind of looking at it as a Tom Brady, Peyton Manning aspect, where they left great teams, great organizations where they won championships, and they were able to win a championship somewhere else, Busch stated at the NASCAR awards ceremony in December. I'd like to think I still have the opportunity to be able to do that at RCR. Alex Bowman. Last February, Chase Elliott extended his Hendrick Motorsports deal for a number of years. The extension for William Byron was signed in May. In September, Kyle Larson signed a new contract with his name on it. Bowman is now the only driver for Hendrick Motorsports who is not committed beyond this season. Even while both parties are hopeful that an extension will be granted, concerns concerning his employment with the company will persist until it is finalized. The great news for Bowman is that, after spending 7 years with Hendrick, he is accustomed to starting a season with a contract that is about to expire. There have been numerous instances of it, and every moment he was able to ignore all outside influences, do well on the track, and obtain a fresh extension. This time should not be any different, according to expectations. Blake Harris, a recent hire from Front Row Motorsports, is assisting Bowman in his endeavors. A number 48 team that has far too frequently seen extended periods of inefficiency could benefit from Harris's hiring. But what would happen if Bowman underperformed or Ally decided not to serve as his main sponsor again? What do you think of this? Let us know in the comment box. And now, let's take a closer look at what we need to know about NASCAR in 2023. There are a lot of changes that we need to consider in order to be ready for any fantasy racing league before we can fill out our cheat sheets or prepare our draft tactics for the upcoming 2023 NASCAR season. When the engines start up at Daytona in February, we'll take a closer look at some of these alterations that we'll see and some that aren't as obvious. Driver changes. We have a number of different drivers who have transferred to new clubs in 2023 as a result of silly season movement and free agent driver signings. Numerous teams are disbanding, while others are forming new ones. In order to maintain their competitiveness, a few clubs have merged or formed partnerships. There have also been a few promotions for rookie drivers, as well as a few driver team exchanges. 2023 schedule changes. The schedule features a few differences from the slate from the previous season. The Busch Light Clash preseason event is returning to the LA Coliseum for a second year. The spring edition of the Bristol Dirt Race is also returning for the 3rd time in a row. A new location for the All-Star Race will be added to the program. The former North Wilkesboro Speedway and Nascar have collaborated to bring them back to the calendar of tracks. The All-Star Weekend for this season will be held at former retirement racetrack in North Carolina that has undergone extensive renovation. The July event on the Chicago Street Course is another new addition to the calendar. Over the 4th of July weekend, the 2.2-mile circuit will play host to the first ever NASCAR street track race. To make room for this new event, the sanctioning organization dropped the Road America competition. With the exception of a few adjustments, most of the schedule stays the same, with a few weekend swaps. The 10-race Chase for the Cup playoffs will continue with the same 10-track lineup, in the same order, and with Phoenix serving as the championship-clinching race once more. The Cup Series schedule is constantly changing and evolving along with NASCAR. In addition to the 36 events already scheduled for the 2017 season, there are a few new events and some returning classics. Just as in 2022, the forthcoming calendar will only have one off weekend. That's Father's Day, so try not to blink or you might miss some action. Since the athletes race almost non-stop from February to November, the Ironman-style schedule will prove to be highly taxing for them. Wet weather package for short tracks. In order to reduce rain delays during races, NASCAR has been seeking options. Numerous NASCAR garage sources claim that the series intends to introduce a wet weather package with rain tires for a few short ovals next year. Similar to the kit used on road courses, it will contain a windshield wiper, flaps behind the wheels, rain lights at the back of the car, and of course, Goodyear rain tires. The lower top speeds on those would make them the easiest to control with rain tires. If put into practice, this may add yet another piece of strategy to a racing series that already has many of them. The usage of rain tires and wet weather packages has led to comparable strategy changes in other international racing series, including Formula One and IndyCar. Still, a lot changes this next season, and we are going to continue that in our next episode. And that's it for today's episode. We sincerely hope you enjoyed our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos.